Hi guys, so today we will be solving this hard level question. It was asked by LinkedIn. The question is quite complex. After solving this question, you will get clarity of a lot of concept of SQL. Right? So what the question says is, we are provided with a table of user ID and dates they visited on the platform. Find the top three users with the longest continuous streak of visiting the platform as of 10th of August 2022. Output the user ID and the length of streak. In case of tie, display all the users with the top three longest streak. The problem statement is seems to be quite straightforward, but just let me. So we are given with this only one table, user streak. It contains user ID and date visited, and we have to return uh, the top three longest streak and their user IDs. Okay. So first, let me explain you this question. Uh, so basically, we are given with a table which contains user ID and the date visited. Okay. So first, let me consider the case of only one user. Okay. And we have to find out. So the catch is basically why this question is slightly complex is basically we have to find out the top three longest tree. But the catch is even for one user there can be multiple streaks. So basically we have to find out the longest streak among all those streaks. Basically it's becoming quite complex. First I'll show you for one user, then you'll get a clarity over it. Okay. So let's say we are given with u1, 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 u1. Okay. And let's say this is the month of September and we are given with the dates. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 and 11. Okay. So basically, as you can clearly see, even among one user, there can be multiple streaks. So first, our agenda should be how can we and yeah, there can be breaking streaks. Okay, so let's say this is we can see this is one streak. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It is a consecutive streak. Then there the streak is breaking, and then 6, 7, 8, 9. This is another streak. It is 4 days. It is 3 days. So the only complicated thing is how we can find out different streaks among the same user in a same user. Okay, we can do it by using a logic which I'll write here. Suppose we use lag of date visited for this column uh, over partition by every user and order by date visited. Okay, so this is the lag column. Okay, here it will give me as null 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I hope you understand the concept of lag and lead window functions. If you don't understand lag and lead window functions, I've covered in previous videos. You can go and watch them. So yes, we get the previous date for a date visited by a user. Okay, so what is the previous date where when the user visited the platform? We are getting in this column. What we can do is we can find out the difference between these two dates. Okay, here we can see 1, 1. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Now, as you can clearly see, there is this pattern, and the only thing in this question is we have to find out a pattern by which we can identify wherever the new streak is getting started. Okay, as you can see, when the streak is breaking, this number is coming out to be more than one. Okay, what we can do is we can use a case statement, case logic. Uh, Suppose if this difference is 1, we will flag it as 0, and if the difference is not equal to 1, we will flag it as 1. Okay, now it is 1, 1, 1. And now, as you can see here, okay, what I'll do is I want a unique identification for each and every streak. Okay, so what I can do here is I can find out the cumulative sum of this column. Okay, simply cumulative sum of this column for each user. Okay, this will be 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Okay, so as you can clearly see, wherever the new streak is new streak is getting started, this number is getting changed. Okay, so here this can be used as a streak ID. 0 is defining this 3-day streak, 1 is defining this 5-day streak, and this again 2, and so on. Like, so this is the only challenging part in this question. Like, we have to identify this streak ID, not streak ID, just a pattern. Like, how can we do it so we can identify each and every streak among a user span. Okay, so we identified. So now the only two columns are needed for finding out the longest streak. Okay, we got this U1 column. Now we got the streak IDs 000, 11111, 2. I'm just replicating this. What we can do is we can similarly simply do the count star aggregation over these two columns, streak ID and user ID. Okay, here we will get count star for every streak ID for a corresponding user. We will get its streak length. So it will be U1 0 3, U1 1 5, U1 2 1. These are the streak length for U1 user. Okay. Here the fifth is the longest streak. We can simply do it for all the users, and what in the end what we will do is we can simply use dense rank window function over order by. Suppose we name this column as streak length. We can simply order by streak length DESC, and as the question clearly mentioned that regardless of a tie, we have to find out the top three streaks. That's why we are using dense rank, and we will do it as less than equal to 3, and we will get our answer. So I hope you understand how we are approaching this question. Uh, so let me write the query, then it will be much more clearer. Okay, so let's start the coding part. We are given with this table. Select What are the columns? User ID, streak length, okay, from is the table name, user streaks. First what I'm doing is I'm making the base data. As this has clearly mentioned here is we have to find out longest continuous streak of visiting platform as of 10th of August 2022. So basically, up till 10th of August 2022, we have to do all this analysis. Okay, so we can filter here only. Where one second. Oh shit, I should be date visited. Where date visited is less than equal to date of it is a date it is 10th of August 2022 2022 0810. Okay, for removing the duplicate you can simply write group by 1 comma 2. I hope you are aware of this syntax also. So uh, rather than writing this full column names here, we can simply specify the numbers also. So one or two corresponds to this user ID and date visited. So just let me run this. Yeah. So here we got this base data. Okay. One second. It's CP as let me include this in CP. Now we will write our logic to find out the change of streak for every user. Okay. So select star. What we going to do here is we will find out date of visited minus the previous date, lag of date visited over partition by uh, user ID order by date visited. Okay, from CPE. So let me run this. Yeah. So what we trying to find out is we are looking for a pattern. Okay. So what we discussed was key if this difference is not equal to 1, uh, we will specify it as one second. Let me show you this. If the difference is not equal to 1, we are specifying it as 1, and if the difference is 1, we are specifying it as 0. Okay. You can simply write here as a case statement. Case when this difference is equal to 1, then we can uh, flag it as 0. And we are flagging it as 0 is because when the date difference will be 1 between the previous date and the current date, then it is referring that it is the same stream going on. Okay, else we can name it as flag it as 1 and as flag. Okay, let me run this. Yeah, so here we got this. So as you can see here, for user 1, we started this streak of like he visited the platform on 1st of August. Then he visited 3rd of August. So these are here the streak got broke, right? That's why we visit. We made this as 1. Okay. Now, he visited on 4th. The same streak is going on. So here it is as 0, 5th, 0. Now, 7th comes. Okay. Now the streak got broken again. So here it is 1. Right. Okay. So now what we can do is we can simply find out. um, one second. Basically, for each and every streak, we have to find out same number like which can represent as a streak ID. Okay. For that, we will do the cumulative sum, which we have talked about earlier. Okay. So let's start sum of flag over order by date visited. Sorry, we have to do it as partition by user ID also. Okay. We can name it as streak ID. Okay. From this particular subquery, you can alias it as 10. Let me run this here. So the same pattern which we discussed earlier, we have replicated this in our query logic. Here, for this first August visit, the streak ID is 1. Then here he visited again and again for 3 consecutive days. So uh, streak ID is showing as 2 only. Okay. Then 3 and so on. This happened for every user in our table. Okay. Now the question is, the solution is pretty straightforward from now onwards. Uh, we can include this in one more CT because subquery things becomes a lot more complex to comprehend. Okay. Uh, so for a streak ID, comma user ID, we will try to find out for a user ID. Uh, I should name it as for a particular user ID across his or her different streaks. We have to find out the length of streaks. Okay. So basically, as you can clearly see in our schema, uh, for this user, this streak ID is repeating. Okay. So for finding out the streak length, we can simply count these streak IDs for a particular user. I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say. If we do this count of star in this from CTEF group by 1 comma 2, what we'll see is we are getting just corresponding length of streaks. Okay, let me name it as streak length. Okay, we are getting corresponding streak length for each user ID. Okay, now simply here we can do is we have to now the question is come to an end. The only thing which we have to find out is across all these users, we got this base data ready. Now we have to find out among all these users, uh, top 3 longest streaks, okay, and their user IDs. We can simply use dense rank because here it has mentioned in case of a tie, display all the users for the top 3 longest streaks. Okay, if we use rank, it will skip uh, the ranking order. So we will use dense rank here. Star dense rank over partition by user ID. Sorry, sorry. There won't be any partition. We have to simply uh, find out the top three longest streaks. Okay, so we can simply do order by streak length DAC. I hope you are understanding this because we aren't doing this for a user level. We are looking among all the users which are the top three longest streaks. So here we won't do any partition by user ID. We can name it as RN from 1 second. Let me name it as pink. Uh, Now let me run this. Okay, here we got this. Now we have to find out the top three longest. Uh, the final output we only have to return the user ID and the streak length. So it will be select user ID from streak length from, let me alias it once again, where Rn is less than equal to 3 and order by streak length because in the output it is in ascending order, so we can order by streak length DSC here. So if we submit this, it will be so. Okay. So this is how we have solved this question. I hope you understood this question. Uh, so as you can clearly see, this question involves a lot of concepts because it is checking you on this logic building part where you are trying to find out the pattern how by which we can find out the streak changes. Then it is using multiple window functions also. So I hope you understood this question. And in our channel, we will be starting Python series also, where we will be discussing uh, from the basics of pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib. Then we will go for some very advanced techniques such as feature engineering and data cleaning and EDA things, which will help you eventually in uh, building DS projects and analytics project. So keep checking this channel for the next updates, and thank you.